Welcome to Breaking Frontiers. Imagine a love so deep, so unwavering that no distraction, no obstacle, no passing phase can shake it. A love where a man feels a magnetic pull towards you, his heart, mind, and soul all intertwined with yours. What if I told you there's a way to inspire this level of devotion? Not through manipulation, but through understanding the true psychology of connection. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear has the power to transform your relationships forever. A man will only feel deep love for a woman he genuinely admires and respects. Attraction may spark interest, but admiration fuels lasting devotion. If you want a man to commit to you in the deepest sense, if you want him to see you as irreplaceable, then he must admire you not just as a woman, but as a human being. He must look at you and think, this is someone I respect. This is someone I cannot afford to lose. And this is where so many relationships falter, because too often people chase affection, they chase attention, but they don't cultivate the qualities that truly inspire deep, unwavering devotion. Respect is not something you demand, it's something you earn. And it starts with how you conduct yourself, how you carry yourself in the world. A woman who commands respect is not necessarily the loudest in the room, nor is she the most dominant or forceful. Rather, she is someone who holds herself with dignity. She knows her value, not in a superficial sense, but in the way she treats herself and others. She does not beg for attention, nor does she mold herself to fit someone else's expectations. Instead, she possesses an internal foundation that is strong, independent, and self-sustaining, and a man recognizes that. You see, men are wired to admire strength, not just physical strength, but emotional and intellectual strength. A man who loves deeply wants to be inspired by his partner. He wants to look at her and see a force to be reckoned with, someone who does not crumble under pressure, someone who holds herself with grace even when the world is chaotic. This is not to say that you must be invulnerable, far from it, but it does mean that you must have an inner fortitude, a sense of self-worth that is unshakable. And here's the hard truth. If a man does not respect you, he cannot love you in the way you deserve. He may stay with you out of convenience, he may enjoy your company, but he will not be devoted to you. And that devotion, that sense of loyalty and admiration is what makes love last. Too many people get caught up in trying to be pleasing and trying to avoid conflict, in bending over backwards to accommodate someone else's needs, thinking that this will make them more lovable. But in doing so, they erode their own value in the eyes of their partner. Because love that is built on admiration is not about sacrifice to the point of self-destruction. It's about mutual elevation. A woman who is truly admired by a man does not shrink herself to fit his life. She does not give up her dreams to make space for his. Instead, she stands beside him as an equal, as a force of nature in her own right. She challenges him, not in a way that is antagonistic, but in a way that pushes him to be better. Men are competitive by nature. They thrive on challenge, on purpose, on striving towards something greater. And a woman who inspires admiration is one who embodies those qualities herself. She is constantly growing, constantly learning, constantly evolving. She does not stagnate. She does not become complacent. And that, in turn, keeps a man engaged, keeps him striving to match her energy, to be worthy of her respect in return. But this is where things become difficult, because in order to be admired, you must first admire yourself. You must look at your own life and ask yourself, am I living in a way that commands respect? Am I living in alignment with my values, my purpose, my highest potential? Because if the answer is no, then how can you expect someone else to see you as worthy of admiration? Too often people look outward for validation. They want their partner to tell them they are enough, They want their partner to make them feel special, but they themselves do not feel worthy. And that lack of self-respect seeps into the relationship like a poison. This is why confidence, true confidence, is so crucial. Not the kind of arrogance that masks insecurity, not the kind of bravado that is easily shattered, but the quiet, steady confidence of someone who knows they are valuable. This kind of confidence comes from competence, from discipline, from living in accordance with your principles. A woman who is admired is one who does not compromise on the things that matter. She does not tolerate disrespect. She does not engage in relationships that drain her. She does not allow herself to be mistreated, not because she is cold or unfeeling, but because she knows that she is worth more. And when a man sees that, when he sees a woman who will not settle for less than what she deserves, he respects her, he admires her, and that admiration is what binds him to her in a way that is unshakable. This is also why authenticity is so critical. A man cannot admire someone who is not real. If you are constantly pretending, if you are hiding parts of yourself out of fear that you won't be accepted, then you are not giving anyone the opportunity to truly admire you. Because admiration is rooted in truth. It is rooted in seeing someone for who they are, in witnessing their struggles, their strengths, their vulnerabilities, and still recognizing their worth. A woman who is genuinely admired is one who is unapologetically herself. She does not try to be someone she is not. She does not chase trends or opinions in an attempt to be liked. Instead, she owns her identity, and in doing so, she commands respect. And let's be clear, respect is not the same as fear. A man who fears losing you because you manipulate him into feeling insecure is not a man who truly loves you. That kind of dynamic is built on control, not on admiration. True admiration comes from a place of deep appreciation. It comes from a man looking at you and thinking, this is someone I am proud to be with. This is someone who makes my life richer, who challenges me, who inspires me to be better. That is what makes love last. And so, if you want a man to feel deep love and devotion for you, you must first ask yourself, am I living in a way that inspires admiration? Am I embodying the qualities that I myself would respect in another person? Because at the end of the day, love without respect is fragile. It may burn bright for a moment, but it will not stand the test of time. If a man does not feel emotionally safe with you, he will never love you with his full heart. He might enjoy your company, he might even be infatuated for a while, but deep, unwavering devotion, that only happens when he knows, truly knows, that he can be himself with you. And this isn't just about comfort, it's about something much deeper. It's about trust. It's about a sense of security that allows him to be vulnerable without fear of judgment, without fear of being ridiculed, without the ever-present anxiety that the moment he lets his guard down, you'll think less of him. That kind of love, that kind of trust is rare. But when it exists, when a man truly feels safe in your presence, he will never want to let you go. The world is a brutal place. A man walks through life with pressures bearing down on him from all directions, expectations, responsibilities, the constant demand to perform, to succeed, to be strong. He has been told since he was young that his worth is tied to what he can provide, to how well he can endure hardship without complaint. And so, most men do exactly that. They endure. They hold things in. They pretend they're fine when they're breaking inside, because the moment they show weakness, the moment they let themselves be vulnerable, they risk being seen as less of a man. And that fear, that deeply ingrained fear of losing respect, is why so many men never truly open up. Not to their friends, not to their families, and certainly not to the women they date. But here's the reality. A man cannot love deeply unless he can be vulnerable. And he cannot be vulnerable unless he feels completely, unquestionably safe. That means knowing with absolute certainty that when he shares his fears, his failures, his doubts, he will not be met with criticism or dismissal. It means knowing that his weakest moments will not be used against him, that he will not be seen as less of a man simply because he has struggles. If a man feels he has to keep a part of himself hidden from you, especially the part that is scared, uncertain, or struggling, then he will never fully open his heart. He will always hold something back. And that distance, that invisible barrier between you, will keep him from truly falling in love. This is where so many relationships go wrong. People think love is built on excitement, on passion, on constant stimulation. And yes, those things matter, but what truly sustains a relationship, what makes a man devoted beyond reason, is the feeling that you are the one person in the world where he can breathe, where he can let down his armor and not be punished for it. If he feels that he has to be constantly performing for you, constantly proving himself, constantly holding back his real thoughts and emotions, then you are not his safe place. You are just another source of pressure in an already exhausting world. And this is not about coddling. This is not about excusing bad behavior, about tolerating weakness indefinitely, or about turning into an emotional dumping ground. It's about balance. It's about being someone who can listen without immediately trying to fix, who can hold space without making him feel small. Too often, when men try to open up, they are met with one of two responses. Either they are dismissed, told to toughen up, to stop being so sensitive, to just get over it, or they are immediately given solutions as if their feelings are nothing more than a problem to be solved. But what they really need, what allows them to feel truly safe, is the simple presence of someone who understands, someone who can just listen and say, I hear you, I see you, you are not alone. And this is difficult because as a woman, your instincts might tell you to react differently. You might feel the urge to fix things, to make him feel better, to offer immediate reassurance. Or you might feel frustrated, impatient, even resentful that he isn't being the strong, confident, dependable man you want him to be. But the truth is, real strength is not about never showing emotion. Real strength is about being willing to confront the parts of yourself that are painful, uncomfortable, and difficult. And if a man is willing to do that in front of you, if he is willing to share his fears and doubts, then he is showing you a kind of trust that is rare. If you respond with patience, with understanding, then you are giving him something that he will not be able to find anywhere else. And that is what makes him stay. That is what makes him love you in a way that is unshakable. A man deeply in love is one who sees a future with you, a future where both of you grow, challenge, and support each other. Without purpose, without direction, without a sense of forward motion, a relationship stagnates. And when a relationship stagnates, it dies. This is a hard truth that many people don't want to face, but it is an undeniable reality. The foundation of deep, lasting devotion is not just affection or attraction. It is the shared pursuit of something greater than either of you individually. If a man does not see a future where the two of you evolve together, where you both contribute to something meaningful, then no matter how strong his feelings are, they will eventually fade. Men are wired to seek purpose. They are built to strive, to achieve, to move forward. A man without a purpose is lost, and a lost man cannot love fully because he does not even know who he is. If he does not have a sense of direction, if he is not pursuing something that matters to him, then he will struggle to commit. Because commitment, real commitment, is not just about staying, it's about growing. It's about choosing to invest, to build, to create something that lasts. And if he does not see that potential in the relationship, if he does not feel that you are someone who adds to his mission rather than distracts from it, then his devotion will be fragile. And this is where so many people get relationships wrong. They think that love is enough, that if there's enough passion, enough attraction, enough time spent together, the relationship will thrive. But love without growth is like a tree without roots. It may stand for a while, but the moment the winds of life hit, it will fall. A man wants to be with someone who fuels his ambition, who pushes him to be better, who challenges him to aim higher. Not someone who is merely present, not someone who passively accepts whatever happens, but someone who actively contributes to his journey. And this isn't about becoming his cheerleader or his shadow. It's about being a force in your own right, about pursuing your own growth, your own aspirations, so that together you create something powerful. If you want a man to feel deeply devoted to you, he has to see you as a partner in his mission, not a distraction from it. He has to feel that with you, he is better than he would be alone. And that means you must have a mission of your own. Because the most attractive, the most inspiring, the most deeply respected people are those who have purpose. A woman who is growing, who is learning, who is evolving, commands admiration, and admiration is the foundation of long-term desire. The moment one person in a relationship stops growing, stops pushing themselves, stops striving for more, is the moment that relationship begins to decline. Because stagnation breeds resentment, it breeds discontent, and nothing kills love faster than complacency. This is why relationships built on dependency, on need rather than mutual elevation, rarely last. If a man feels that he is responsible for your sense of purpose, if he feels that without him you have no direction, then he will pull away, not because he does not care, but because he cannot carry the weight of both his mission and yours. A strong relationship is one where both individuals are whole, where they walk side by side rather than one dragging the other. When a man sees that you are driven, that you are passionate about your own growth, your own success, your own evolution, he will respect you, he will admire you. And admiration is what keeps love alive when the initial spark fades. But this isn't just about individual ambition, it's about shared vision. A relationship thrives when two people work towards something greater than themselves. That could be building a family, creating a legacy, working on a project, or even simply striving to become the best versions of themselves together. If there is no shared purpose, if there is no larger goal that binds you, then the relationship is running on borrowed time. A man needs to feel that the relationship itself is part of his mission, that being with you is not just a passive experience, but an active choice to build something meaningful. And this is where the balance lies. You must be independent, strong, and purpose-driven, but you must also create a relationship where he feels that his mission and yours are aligned, where he does not feel that he has to choose between his purpose and his love for you, but rather that the two are intertwined. When a man feels that his relationship supports his growth rather than hinders it, he will pour his heart into it. Because men do not invest deeply in things that feel like limitations. They invest in things that expand their potential, that make them feel alive, that push them toward greatness. So the question is, what kind of relationship are you creating? Are you both growing, both pushing each other forward, both striving for something more? Or are you simply existing together, caught in a cycle of routine and stagnation? If you want a man to feel deep love and devotion, the relationship must be a space of growth. It must be a place where both of you are inspired to become more than you were yesterday, where the future is not just a vague hope, but a clear and compelling vision that excites him, that drives him, that makes him see you as an irreplaceable part of his journey. Because when a man sees you as essential to his growth, to his purpose, to his very identity, he will never want to let you go. A man's love is not proven in words alone. It is demonstrated through consistent action, through the choices he makes day after day. Too many people get caught up in what is said, in romantic promises, in grand declarations of devotion. But words are cheap. Words can be spoken in moments of passion, in moments of vulnerability, in moments where emotion is high. But true commitment, true love, that is revealed in behavior. It is revealed in how a man treats you when things are difficult, when life is uncertain, when it would be easier to walk away than to stay. A man who truly loves you will not just say he cares, he will show it. And he will show it in ways that are undeniable. He will make time for you, not just when it's convenient, not just when there's nothing better to do, but because you matter to him. He will respect you, not just in public, not just when people are watching, but in the quiet moments, in the way he speaks to you, in the way he listens when you express your concerns. He will protect you, not just in a physical sense, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. He will not allow you to be mistreated, not by himself, not by others. He will be there when it counts, when you need him, when you are struggling, when you are unsure. And that kind of consistency, that kind of reliability, that is what separates love from infatuation. People often mistake intensity for love. They think that if a relationship is filled with passion, with highs and lows, with dramatic displays of emotion, then it must be real. But love is not about intensity. It's about stability. It's about knowing that someone will show up for you, not just when they feel like it, not just when the mood strikes, but always. A man's love is not tested in the good times. When there is stress, when there is conflict, when he is tired, frustrated, overwhelmed, how does he treat you then? That is when you see the truth. That is when you see if his love is real or if it is conditional, if it is merely a reflection of his own temporary emotions. Because real love is not based on convenience. It does not disappear the moment things become challenging. It does not waver the second mistakes are made, the second imperfections are revealed. A man who is truly devoted will work through problems, will communicate, will fight for the relationship instead of against it. He will not run at the first sign of discomfort. He will not make you feel like you are an option, like you are replaceable, like you must constantly prove your worth to keep his attention. Instead, he will make you feel secure, not through words alone, but through his actions, through his presence, through the unwavering commitment he demonstrates day after day. And this is where many people misunderstand love. They chase validation instead of devotion. They focus on trying to get someone to say the right things rather than observing what they actually do. But the truth is, if you have to convince someone to love you, if you have to constantly beg for reassurance, if you have to decode mixed signals and wonder where you stand, then you already have your answer. Love is not a puzzle to be solved. It is not a game to be played. It is clear. It is undeniable. And the right man, the man who is truly devoted, will make sure you never have to question it. And this does not mean that love is effortless. It is not. It requires work. It requires patience. It requires the willingness to grow together rather than expecting perfection from the start. But the key difference is this. When a man is truly in love, that work is not a burden to him. It is not something he resents, not something he avoids. It is something he embraces, because the relationship itself is valuable to him. He sees you as worth the effort, worth the time, worth the struggle that inevitably comes with any deep, meaningful connection. But too often, people tolerate inconsistency. They accept behavior that does not align with real devotion because they are afraid of letting go. They hold on to potential rather than reality. They believe that if they just try harder, if they just prove themselves more, if they just wait long enough, then maybe things will change. But a man who truly loves you does not need to be convinced to act like it. He does not need to be reminded to show up, to be present, to treat you with care. He does these things because that is who he is, because his love is not a performance. It is a reflection of his values, his character, his integrity. And this is why self-respect is so crucial. Because when you respect yourself, when you know what you deserve, you will not tolerate behavior that does not match real love. You will not settle for someone whose actions are inconsistent with their words. You will not waste time trying to fix someone who has no intention of changing. Instead, you will recognize that love, real, lasting, meaningful love, is built on consistency, on reliability, on the small, everyday choices that demonstrate commitment over time. A man's love is not in what he promises, it is in what he does. It is in the way he prioritizes you, the way he makes you feel valued, the way he stands beside you when it matters most. It is in the way he chooses you again and again, not because he has to, not because he is obligated to, but because he wants to. Because he knows that love is not just a feeling, it is a choice. And a man who truly loves you will make that choice. Not once, not only in the good moments, but every single day.